Mike, worked on Travolta, and he's doing this, doing that. I would say to him, they knew I was gay. I'd say, why are you telling me? Tell the boss. Tell the boss.
Right.
So they told the boss or whatever. They said that they didn't want to work on him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And they were banding together as the massage therapist that if he wanted a massage and they were going to book him with a male, that they were going to be on the list at the front desk that if he requests the male, that they better not request one of them. Trying to think. I forgot.
80s, 90s.
No, in the 2000s.
Oh, 2000?
2000.
Oh, shit. This is after Pulp Fiction.
Just put in there.
After
Put in there.
Pulp Fiction,
John
yeah.
Travolta, Michael Caputo will come right up.
I think
Oh,
it was
man.
it was before you started your business, right? I'm guessing.
No.
Oh, like
Because that's how they found me online with my website.
okay.
No, it's while I had my business. I was out of the spa. I was gone from the spa.
So maybe like 2000.
They were doing a major renovation and shit.
2002, 3, 4.
There's a lot of scandals with the spa.
I got you.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah. This is This is around the time he was in Punisher.
Oh shit.
That's why he was probably pissed off so much in the movie, man.
That makes sense. He was an angry man in that movie.
Does my name come up with him?
S-
Mike Caputo, second massage therapist, fourth massage therapist.
You know what's funny? When I first looked up your name, who came up? I think it was like somebody running
Trump.
for like senator. Or
Son of
something.
somebody works with Trump
Yeah.
with the same name,
Yeah.
and another guy that writes 35 free Christian books.
I was
Of
dying.
all people to be connected with me, Trump
I
and the
thought-
Christian books.
I
thought
see
it
it
died.
Can you
here.
imagine?
It says attorney Travolta was never banned from the hotel
Yep.
spot. So I think that was his attorney speaking.
And he
of him.
says I was just a what he called disgruntled employee. I loved working there. I would if I was disgruntled, would I be there 16 years?
Exactly.
What was I
Nobody's-
disgruntled about?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, we can still go though, right?
Yeah. He said we could go
Alright.
He's
continue.
not here yet.
No, it rolls on.
It's still filming though.
It
Okay,
feels-
but you can
Alright.
edit it out, right?
Yeah, they edit
I'll
out.
talk.
Yeah.
All right. So when I was with when I was seeing Travolta, I had walked into the in between massages. I would always go into the bathroom, take a leak, whatever, come out. And Travolta was in the locker room that day with a towel around him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like he was going to take a shower or go into the steam or whatever. Pool was upstairs, so he wasn't going swimming. So when I passed him, it was almost like I said, "Hello, sir." I didn't say nothing, John Travolta or anything. "Hello, sir." And I passed him, and I went by the sinks, washed my hands, and then I went to take a leak. And I said to myself, "Dear God, please don't let him stand. Hope he doesn't come in here and stand next to me. I really hope he doesn't."
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't. He walked past me, and he went through a door
Mm-hmm.
where they had the steam room and the sauna. And I know they had a water fountain in there. And I saw him, I peeked out there and I saw him go into the sauna. And I said to myself, and then two other guys followed him in there. And I said to myself, I know what goes on in all the saunas, in all the gyms in New York City. I know what I've seen all my life. I know what's going to be going on in there.
Happy endings.
So whatever the case is, no, this was just a sauna. Where, with
It's like
towel
you
on you.
just sit
You've
with
been
the
in the
rocks
sauna
and
and
stuff.
jacuzzi,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just sitting
okay?
there, yeah.
This is the sauna, the dry one with no mist.
Right.
And it had
okay.
a glass door in front of it. So I took the water and they didn't hear me come in because I sort of, went in very slow. And then I went over and I sort of like went and looked in and I saw them all pull back because they were all masturbating in the sauna.
Oh, wow.
And that's something I did not tell the Daily News.
Mm.
John
Exclusive.
Travolta and two other
Exclusive
dudes.
here on
Exclusive.
your EOV podcast.
John Travolta and
Okay,
two other
John
dudes in the
Travolta.
bath in the
Two
hotel
dudes
sauna room.
masturbating in the sauna at the peninsula.
This is pre-Punisher, and
Yes.
this is after Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
John Travolta.
Yes.
That is funny.
Okay. So that's what I saw. And I didn't even bother reporting him.
Yeah.
Because I said to myself, they're not going to do anything anyway. So I kept my mouth shut
Pretty
because
much.
I know what I used to do in the saunas when I used to go to the gyms and what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, all the guys on the down low, they would fool around in the sauna.
Yeah.
And would tell the girlfriend, I'm going to the gym. She didn't think anything of it. They went to the gym, but they were fooling around before they left in the sauna or the steam room. The quickies.
Oh shit.
No, I'm
That's two-
serious. So
that's two
that
workouts.
is that is what I'm talking about.
That's two workouts in
So
one.
I just want to read the first chapter of the first paragraph of the first chapter.
Yeah,
Sure.
Just to
Oh wait, before you do that though, I kind of wanted to do like a quick comparison. So,
okay.
speaking on celebrities, right? You said you work with Geraldo and Joan
Joan
Rivers, right?
Mhm.
So, if you could compare them to anybody like that today, who would you compare them to?
Geraldo and Joan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And then kind of just explain how it was working with both of them.
it was a job that I wish I never left.
Mm.
It It was after them that I went to massage school.
Okay.
But I wish I had never left that job. It
Right.
was working in the media, like all the stuff that you guys do here,
Mm-hmm.
is just what I'm most passionate about, because there's always something going new every
For
day.
sure. For
And
sure.
they did more new stuff, and they did scandalous stuff.
Mhm.
When I worked for Joan Rivers, I would work in CBS. I worked directly with her because I worked in promotions, but I would be in the control room with the guys, and they were really nice there. And they had me working on this Sony thing where they would be taping Joan's show live, that I
that's
could
cool.
take any picture of any frame.
Mhm.
And at that time in
That's dope.
1990, that was very ahead of its time. They had the most advanced equipment.
Right.
Now I'm sure they got miracle stuff down there now.
For sure. Probably.
And more computerized. So I would be there if I see them have a guest like Aretha Franklin come on. I would take a picture, be able to keep all these pictures of Aretha,
course.
of any guest that Joan had on. So she had on Angela Bowie,
Mm.
who was going to be, who had something to say to Joan, but she wouldn't give it on. So Joan had her on her show, and she also had Howard Stern on the show. Now, Howard Stern knew me from being on his radio
Right.
show with my father,
Right.
but I don't think he knew I worked in the back there with Joan, for Joan's show in Geraldo.
Mm-hmm.
So Angela Bowie had something to come out and say, and Joan couldn't get it out of her.
Right.
So she ends up saying that when she came home one day, she found her husband, David Bowie, in bed with Mick Jagger.
So shit.
Okay?
Like I
And
got
Joan-
the moves, Mick Jagger.
That from the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The song, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all
Oh, yeah.
right.
What song?
Get the moves, Mick Jagger, like Mick Jagger, right? That's
Yeah, yeah.
that
Well,
one.
then they put on the headline "Dancing in the Sheets."
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
because that was one of the songs by Bowie or the Stones. I don't remember.
Catchy.
Mhm.
So I took a picture when Joan jumped up went like that as she said it, and I took the picture, and I showed my boss, and I had to go down to the flower shop where I worked for 10 years in the World Trade Center.
Mm.
So that was only there as an intern,
Right.
because I liked working around that, and I had gone to school for that to be I wanted to be like a Larry King, interview famous people, and I went to school for that, and they didn't place me. They said the best thing to do is be an intern, and I got an intern job over there.
Nice.
And so I spent time whatever I could do, and then I would go straight down to my job. So it was like the weekend, and he said to me, "Mike, do me a favor." He said, "Take this envelope to somebody over at the Daily News. If you can. If you can't, just bring it back on Monday."
Right.
I said, "Okay, no problem." So I wanted to do good for my boss because I liked working there, hoping they would hire me.
Right.
And I brought the envelope, and I got in touch with the guy and forgot all about it. When I came in Monday morning, and I got to the floor, Joe Rivers show, and I walked into where all the offices were, they all were standing up, and everybody was looking at me. My boss came running over to me. I said, "What happened? I'm going to get fired. What did I do wrong?" He said, "Mike, that envelope I gave you made the front pages of the Daily News. That picture of Joan jumping up, it sent her ratings for the show through the roof. You got it on the front page of the Daily News. The CEO of the company called me up. They hired me on the spot. Who's this guy? Who brought that picture?
Right.
Some intern." And I got it on that picture on the Daily News.
Nice.
So, I can't compare anybody today. I don't know what the business is like today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's just as exciting.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of shows like Joan and Geraldo back then, talking about scandalous stuff. What about that guy that they were fighting one time? One time Geraldo got his nose broken.
Tough shit.
I think he had white supremacist on. He got his nose broken. I mean, there was so much. There was another guy that anything went. You had white supremacist on. You
Mhm.
had KKK people on the shows. There was so many of them, and so many at that time. But
Okay. So
I
probably
don't see those shows like that today.
so
It's a different kind of a media. Now
Yeah,
you see that
yeah.
stuff on social media, on Facebook, or all the stuff that you would see
True.
on television. Which
it's probably like
made
Wendy Williams, The View,
There
stuff
you
like
go.
that.
There
It's
you
probably
go.
stuff like
Exactly.
that. A little bit
exactly.
watered down, but yeah, for sure.
Right. And a guy killed himself, I think, from one of those shows because the guy said he had an attraction from one of the guys on one of those shows, and he ended up committing suicide. I think he
Okay.
was on the DL.
Sheesh.
It was just weird. But it was a great time, and I got that on the front page. That's how I got hired
Nice.
in the media. But so I'm just going to read the
Oh, yeah,
first
go for it,
paragraph
go
now.
for it.
Yeah,
May
for
I, sir?
Of course.
Okay, this is from Chameleon. This is the first paragraph. It's sort of like sets the stage here. Everyone has a persona or a public image. Oh, the name of the chapter is called DL by default.
Mhm.
It's the only chapter in the book that's not named after a song.
Nice.
And my first book, all the chapters are also named after songs.
Is that like intentional or
Intentional.
okay?
I intentionally did that.
Nice.
And when I talk about John Travolta in my book, I named it after the song "Welcome Back" from when he used to do "Welcome Back, Cotter." You
Mhm.
remember that song, "Welcome Back"? So that's why I named that chapter
All
after.
right, what kind of question was that?
Huh?
He just told you he named it after every song. You
Listen.
gonna tell me it wasn't intentional?
I don't know. Maybe he just was
I
listening to
apologize
music.
for our educational system failing my colleague here.
They definitely failed me. They
No,
failed,
no.
they failed me
No.
terribly.
I told you guys that
As we
everything's
went to
open
both
here.
the same high school.
Shall I say race?
Go ahead, man.
Everyone has a persona or public image. That doesn't necessarily mean that this seemingly transparent image totally represents one's true self. More often than not, people show another side of themselves to others in different settings. For example, one might reveal a familiar side of themselves to their family, but not that same side to their friends, or vice versa. Then there's another side that they keep hidden and very private that nobody sees except a select few. That particular secret I'm referring to concerns men on the down low, on the DL, living a double life. This is not an illusion or some rare phenomenon. It is an underlying truth and another facet of the male psyche. Through my revelations and lived experiences, I will show how many men, regarding their sexuality, are forced to posture themselves on the world stage somewhat like a chameleon. There won't be any exaggeration or sugarcoating in my testimony. I am not here to shame, denigrate, lie, or out anyone by name either. I am also not suggesting that all men are disguised or living on the DL as an alternative lifestyle. I am writing about this facade to explain why this deception is prevalent in every race, creed, and culture because of the world we live in.
Mhm.
And what I had also, my book goes into, is about the identities, how we went from the gay community to the LGBT community. In my day, we didn't have all the names or identities that we call certain people in
Right.
our community today.
Mhm.
There were just 5 terms used in my day: straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, and trannies. Then there were the drag queens who were gay guys who regularly performed at some clubs and dressed up as famous women singers and lip synced to their songs. So somebody might dress up like Diana Ross,
Mhm.
okay? Or
Right.
Donna Summer, or
Right.
Judy Garland, or Barbara Streisand in my day.
Mhm.
Now they dress up as Beyonce. And they,
Right.
you know what I'm trying to say?
Right,
They were
right.
like the RuPauls of that time,
Gotcha.
okay? By the way, RuPaul looks better as a girl than does as a guy. I looked at him, I see him as a guy, I said, okay. And I see him as a girl, I say, he looks better as a girl. It's my opinion. Okay, so cross dressers was another term that I was familiar with and heard about. They were mainly straight men who enjoyed dressing up in women's clothing. It didn't necessarily mean that they were gay.
Right.
Okay, it was a fetish.
Mhm.
I understood this behavior as just a fetish of heterosexual men that had nothing to do with their sexuality. I knew that there could be some exceptions to the rule, though. Okay, but ultimately, those men were not gay. Tranny was another slur used. Now you call them transgender people or a
Mhm.
transgender person. Tranny is a slur, to
Right.
use the word tranny. Slur used when you meant a transgender person. Those people feel that their personal identity and gender don't correspond with their birth sex. And I talk about, out of all the words around the Q word, the LGBTQ, the
Mhm.
Q in LGBTQ means queer
Mhm.
or also means questioning. So I accept it as questioning.
Right.
I don't really accept it as queer. When they want to call my community the queer community, I ain't having it.
Right.
But like I said, the new generation's got to take that.
Speaking
And I
of
also
that,
talk about all the slurs used.
Mhm.
I wanted to just mention this because I know that you guys can appreciate this. The words faggot, fag, and queer meant the same thing to all the gay men during my era. Queer is another pejorative term that equates with the words nigger, coon, spick, chink, gook, kung flu, kike, sand nigger, lesbo, dyke, cunt, fag hag, and retard. All mean the same things.
Hmm.
They are all hurtful, contemptuous, disparaging, and as far as I'm concerned, in the same family. None of those words are terms of endearment. They never were and never will be. People who use those slurs are not telling you that they love you. They are telling you that they hate you.
Yeah.
I rest my case on
And
that.
to continue on with the LGBTQ community, what do you think about the whole movement behind it? There's both sides debating, one who are for it and there's no problem with it. They want them to have equal rights, be allowed to express themselves in any way, shape, or form. But then there are others who don't necessarily agree with the way they go about it, how it's forced, or you're just not listening to all sides. Like that was the whole point of the general argument, listen to everybody. You want to be heard, I want to be heard. But now what some people notice is that when you try to debate with that community, it's just they shut you down right away. They're not listening to you. Some would say they don't even function with logic. Not all of them, but some. So what would be your take on that? Someone from an older generation that had to deal with it, I would say, in a much harsher rate.
Well, I don't think that the younger generation is having it.
Mm.
I don't think they're going to take the BS.
Mm-hmm.
They know what it's all about. Most of the people that are against my community, I would say the majority, are all religious people of some religious faith.
For sure.
And they say we're an abomination of the Bible, that we're going to hell,
Mm-hmm.
and that all we're freaks. And like I had said to the gentleman I was speaking to before, we were in the medical books as a mental illness until 1973.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so all we want is to have the same rights, and we haven't gotten the equality bill passed, even though we got the marriage equality.
Right.
We haven't got the equality bill passed, and they're trying to take the rights away from us. I'm glad that Biden signed another thing because Clarence Thomas, the Black Supreme Court justice in the Supreme Court, was suggesting that we take away gay marriage. And I was looking at him saying, he's married to a white woman. Does he not realize, let's take away his interracial marriage?
Exactly.
Because interracial marriage wasn't legal to 67. And even when they made it legal in 67, it was still shunned upon by both the Black community and the white community.
I might like
So,
Still shunned upon now.
and he's supposed to be a Christian, and he was the one that was involved with being all in that sex scandal with Anita Hill. Sexual harassment all comes from that. And that's why when you go for jobs, they make you watch a film or they make you fill a paper out so that there's no sexual harassment on the job,
Right.
that you can't get to the point now you can't even tell a woman, oh, that dress looks nice on you. Or you look pretty today, Anna.
Can't
And
say
without getting sexually harassed.
Exactly.
So that's where it stems from. That what they call
sure.
that black white supremacist,
That's
or the
tough.
Uncle Tom, whatever they want to call him.
I heard they say it's only sexual harassment if you're ugly.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, messed up, but-
He wanted to do that. You know what I'm trying to
Fucked
say?
up.
And I
Playing the game on hard mode.
Yeah, it's fucked up. What you mean?
Yeah. And I just don't know why, the Christians, they just cannot leave us alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not trying to take away, I believe in religious freedom.
Mhm.
I just don't believe in religion. And every time I say that to somebody, they go, oh, you're an atheist? No.
I know, right?
I tell them that God has nothing to do with religion. Religion is another business like Apple and Verizon, and God doesn't need a middleman. So if I want to talk to God in my bathroom, I can.
Right.
I don't have to say a memorized prayer. I can say, hey, God, you know what? Like, what's happening, man? Help me through this. I don't got to say, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be. I had to memorize all that crap back then. Or
Right.
nor do I have to read the Bible.
Oh, man, we
Because
was with
God
you,
doesn't
man.
read the Bible.
No.
God doesn't read the Bible.
He does
That's all
not.
they want to say. You read the Bible, it says homosexuality is a sin. I said, I don't want to read the Bible because God doesn't read the Bible. God reads hearts. So you can't call
Ooh.
yourself a Christian
That's a
or even
bar.
American,
God reads hearts. He
right?
doesn't
God
read the
reads
Bible.
hearts.
I
I mean, you
love that.
can't call yourself a Christian or an American if you hate black people or hate gay people.
You can't.
And you can't throw your kids to the curb. Okay? You want to say you're pro-life until your kids come around and tell you that they're in the LGBT community, and then you throw them to the curb and they end up committing suicide. And suicide being the highest rate of suicide in the country is with the LGBTQ youth.
Yeah.
And you're calling yourself a Christian. So you're putting your religion in that book ahead of your own flesh and blood.
Pretty much.
You can't call yourself a Christian
It's wild.
because
man.
Christianity is about love.
It
And you're
is.
supposed to emulate Jesus as close as you can We're not perfect. We're humans.
Yeah.
They're not emulating Jesus Christ.
I think people forget
And let me
that.
let people just know this on your podcast. There are 2 qualifications to be in the KKK.
Oh shit! I knew this was
Okay,
coming.
let me just make this clear out there, because a lot of the younger generation are asking this question. They can never answer the second one. What's the first qualification that's the most obvious?
White.
You got to have this color skin, and you got to be white, but a non-Jew. You
Right.
can't be a Jew.
They still don't.
They
like
hate
Jews.
Jews.
Still.
Okay, and the second qualification is
You got to be a Christian.
you got to be a Christian or a believer in Jesus Christ, any denomination.
Crazy.
Protestant, Baptist, whatever.
Mm.
So people say to me, Mike, those aren't real Christians. I said, well, they burn crucifixes on the lawns of the black people.
I was wondering
So
why
what
they
does
did
that tell
too.
you? What does that tell you about the Christians in America? Who killed, lynched, raped, skinned all the black people in America?
It's Christians.
Christians.
That's crazy.
Okay? We know it. I'm calling you out. We know it. And the black community knows it. And we're not going back. So keep back with your Christian BS and be a real Christian, not be a counterfeit Christian, which most of you are, okay? Especially the Christian right. And then I have some of the younger black generation, but my aunt's a Christian, Mike. I says, I know. And how do you think your aunt, who's black, became a Christian?
Brainwashed.
It was beat into her by the massa. So, well, the ancestors, not your particular aunt,
Yeah.
the ancestors.
Yeah,
Because
got lucky.
Africa didn't have-
We escaped.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, you escaped. Africa
No,
didn't have
we just-
Christianity as religion.
No.
How could Christianity be the most dominant religion in the world
Beat the shit
and the
out of
most
it.
popular religion in the world without stealing, robbing, killing, crusades, the Inquisition,
Oh yeah.
and the Vatican never apologized for any of those crimes?
They're like, we're good.
Okay? And I want the religious people and all the people out there to know that we are not the groomers. We're not trying to groom your children to be homosexual. Just
yeah.
because your son or daughter reads a book that a penguin's got 2 moms or 2 dads doesn't mean that we're trying to turn them gay. Because I read a lot of straight books and it didn't turn me straight. Okay? So the other thing I also want to say, because they come out with stupid things like this. The other thing I want to say is like,
Default settings.
right? It'd be all of a sudden you're going to turn gay because penguins have got 2 moms and 2 dads, so they're going to be gay now all of a sudden.
Shit.
So let's just say who the real groomers are, okay? Because they always like to deflect to my community. You know who the real groomers are? Google it, all Christians out there. Look at how many priests have molested and sexually abused young boys, and how many millions of dollars the church has paid out to the victims and the families, and those are the ones that got caught. And when the Vatican knew about this going on, what did the Vatican do? Instead of defrocking the priest, they take the priest from the parish in Brooklyn and put the priest in the parish in Philadelphia somewhere and move it around to do the same thing. And a lot of those people that were abused when they were young boys or altar boys or whenever they were by the priest, okay, are still living and suffering with it at people that got to be my age. Okay? Yeah. So don't come at my community and call us the groomers, because we know you've been leading that parade for centuries. And we know the Vatican goes on Rent-A-Boy and hires the male hustlers and has sex parties and with drugs out there in the Vatican. So we know what time it is.
All types of bars. But
happened?
No, bars just
what time? We got time?
Fire.
We still got time?
Fire.
Still got time, guys?
No, we're gonna end it
I'm
on
hot now.
He's on fire.
I'm all worked up. Can we do the next show?
But we're gonna end it on this topic.
Okay.
This not topic, but so if you have the ability to make a billboard, like it's gonna be up on a highway somewhere.
Oh, okay.
That would best describe your books, your life.
Oh.
Just you as a person at whole. What would that billboard say?
Wow. God.
So Eric asking the dope questions, man. I'm proud
wow, that's a stumping question.
Might have a future in this.
So much, whatever all I said, I would like, how could I put that in a couple of sentences to put it on a billboard?
Fuck the Christians.
Yeah. And then they say blasphemy, you don't believe in God. Like, it's like, yeah, I believe in spirituality over doctrine. Let's just put it that way. I believe in spirituality, and I don't have to go to pay to pray. And those churches, they're all tax exempt. They don't pay any taxes. So if they want to get into politics and start trying to take away my rights, okay, then pay your taxes.
No,
pay your taxes, church. Pay your taxes.
I saw them priests got Audis and double R's and all that
As
shit.
far as a billboard, I don't know. I mean, I did so many I could do, but got a couple of memes here that are kind of interesting. The biggest danger of taking your child to a drag show is that a Christian could show up with a gun.
Yep, fuck the
Because
Christians.
you all want,
man.
because you all want your guns and you all want your Bibles, right? You don't want to give up the AR-15s. You know, you're saying that we want to take away your guns, right? So, you know, the only thing you got to worry about with the drag is a Christian showing up with a gun, because all those people that go into the are all Christians. And remember what the Christians did in Alabama to those 4 black girls in 1963, okay? They bombed the church and they killed 4 black girls. Remember that. And remember who killed Emmett Till? Christian. Remember the Christian woman who lied about Emmett Till, okay? About Emmett Till whistling and flirting with her. And what the Christians did, how they lynched him and put him on the bottom and they made a movie about it, all right? So we know all that. And if we don't want to teach our kids in the school about any of the gay history or the black history, okay? We're going to teach them through movies like Whoopi Goldberg said. We'll teach them through the movies. We'll teach them through video. They can go on the phones. They can go on their phones. Any books they ban, to any kids out there listening, go read every book that they ban, because they don't want you to know the truth, because they think that their little old white kids are going to be traumatized when Miss Ruby Bridges had to be escorted into a white school by the National Guard because she was desegregating the schools. The first little 6-year-old girl, while they called her the N-word and threw watermelon and crap at her and rocks at her because she was a person of color. Okay? So get with it, Christians, because we know what time it is.
I think that's a billboard right there.
It is, man.
But we can't thank you enough for stopping by.
Yeah.
You can plug your book one more time if you want.
Okay, so the book is Chameleon. Believe me, if they got this was a #1 bestseller, they'd be banning my book. They would be banning my book. Chameleon, a memoir, Michael Caputo author.com is my website where you could find both of my books.
Yes, sir. But we appreciate you for stopping by.
Thank you for your time.
Definitely
Thank
hope to
you.
have you back again. It's Eric again. It's King
It's
Rob
Robert,
over
man.
there.
If it's still here, I applied to the KKK like a few weeks ago. They haven't gotten back.
Oh, hold on a second. Wait a minute. I gotta mention one more thing. Spike Lee movie, Black Klansman. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
I
What do you
gotta
think of
watch
that? That
Yeah,
pretty cool,
dope,
right?
Yeah,
I
man.
need to
Great
watch
movie,
that.
right?
I definitely need to watch
He said
that.
the way they pronounce certain words. He's
Yeah.
like, so how do they
Yeah.
pronounce it?
Certain, right? Exactly. Right?
You know, they just let the R roll up the top. They got the cows in the back,
Yeah.
just like, really?
Yeah. And watch Jungle Fever. Did you see Jungle Fever?
I haven't seen it.
I've
but I
heard of that one. I gotta
Oh,
watch
you
that
got to
one.
look at the scene when the Italian father finds out his
I seen
daughter.
that. Yeah.
Did you see that scene?
Yeah.
That's a true scene. That wasn't
That
that
was-
wasn't exaggerated by Spike Lee. That is on point of what an Italian father would do to his daughter, beat the crap out of her, okay, and kick her
Bananas.
out of the house if she so much as went near or spoke to a black guy.
Bananas. That's
I lived in
bananas.
Bensonhurst. I know what it's like.
Shit. But yeah, we gotta go.
Okay.
Pieces.
Okay. That's it. So I can talk to you.
Yeah, go. Yeah, you go.
See,
Man.
it's Ron.
You're
Did I
fun.
say anything wrong? Did I get you crazy?
No, bro,
That
you
was,
I get very
that
hot. Oh,
was perfect. That was
This is
perfect.
probably our best episode ever.
By far.
really?
Yes, definitely.
I hope I don't know what they're gonna say, but don't block the comments.
No,
That was
That's
just
Rob and Eric
I'll
and
leave
Rob, make them say old white faggot. I don't care. It's not gonna bother me. Don't worry. I'm used to that.
Well, even
Just
though
let it come through.
with
Let it
you-
come through.
With YouTube or anything like that, you're not allowed to post those stuff anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
they-
there's somebody viewing
Oh,
those things, so
They're gonna
they,
stop it.
they
Block them.
no, they delete them right away. They delete
Yeah.
and ban your account. So Instagram, all social media, they don't allow any type of like words. They censor it or they just ban your account.
This is not
either
gonna
or.
be on Instagram because it's too long.
Yeah, it's probably a short, like a
Right.
promotional clip and everything like that, but not like a full on episode.
I hope you got my voice. I hope it was in front of the mic. Okay, I know.
Yeah.
But I said, like I said, guys, I can go on and we could talk about whatever. I
Right.
want to tell you to read this too. I just want to let you guys. This is I work in a Jewish museum, and I was telling them. I don't know if I told you guys. They are a Holocaust museum. We're the 3rd largest Holocaust museum in the world,
Oh shit.
and they bring in kids by the droves, in school buses
Right.
as a field trip, and we have volunteers, older people, some young,
Mhm.
that take the kids around and teach them about everything that happened in the Holocaust.
Oh dope.
Okay.
That's dope.
So now wait a second.
Mhm.
That's teaching them
Mhm.
about the Jewish Holocaust.
Mhm.
Now we've had a black Holocaust. Jewish Holocaust, where did it happen?
Mhm.
In Germany.
Right.
they're teaching the kids what happened in Germany,
Mhm.
but they don't want to teach the kids what happened with slavery in America.
They're actually trying to stop those
Yeah.
teachings. So
Yeah,
what
they
was
are.
it, critical
that's what
race
they-
theory
yeah.
that they're trying to stop.
Well, yeah. Well, trying to. They are stopping it in Florida.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. So this is what I say it in a different way. But when I saw this, I said to myself, "It's exactly what I say, saying it a different way." That's why we all have to stick together.
Agreed.
Gay, straight, black.
Agreed.
We have to stick together because this is how it goes.
'Cause
First, they
honestly-
came for the communist, and I did not speak out
Mhm.
because I was not a communist.
Right.
Then they came for the socialist, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionist, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist.
Right.
Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew.
Mhm.
Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me.
It's always like that.
So I always say to everybody in a short term, the way I always say it, that's why I kept this. Today it's me,
Mhm.
tomorrow it'll be you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay?
For sure.
And we could also discuss reparations.
I did see
Remember
that.
how the blacks were promised the 40 acres and a mule?
No.
They right?
Yeah, that's not
They
coming.
never got. They never got.
We're not
They
getting
never,
that.
never got it right.
We're not
But when
getting
the Jews got done with when they got done with the Holocaust, know what the Jews got? Jews got a country. They got
they
Israel and they got reparations from Germany. Okay.
We didn't get shit.
Okay. Just want to let you know.
And they got Brooklyn too.
Yeah. Oh, they got more than Brooklyn. They
Yeah.
got the media. They got everything. Am I right?
Yeah. Listen to Kanye. They own everything.
I know. I heard.
So actually, it did apply a few weeks ago.
Did the
Fake
KKK?
name and all that shit and everything like that.
They got actual like website for you to apply.
Bro, yeah, but it's secretive and stuff like that. So they don't put
What
a KKK.
KKK?
Yeah, it's not KKK.com. Right?
Well, I tell everybody,
Yeah.
listen, the KKK, they're not in white robes anymore. They're in suits and ties.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They elevated just a little bit.
I could talk about Bensonhurst, how it was white, and you know, my doorman called me a nigger lover. I mean, I could tell you so many things. Ugh. Yeah, you know, the older you get, the more shit you see. You know, you just see more shit when you get older. You know?
That is true.
I'm wrapping up because I know they probably have something else to come in.
Yeah, they would have
I
told
don't want
us. That's
you
why
to
they
pay.
gave us until like 5:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wolf got into really having a great conversation with me. He didn't stop
Wolf
talking.
is dope. Wolf is
No,
dope.
Yeah,
Wolf
he
is-
said he
I
was
love
living with a
Wolf.
gay roommate. And he said, you know, when I first came from Texas, I said, oh, don't mention Texas. I almost had a heart attack. He started to laugh. I said, I hate that Greg Abbott that's in the wheelchair. He said, yeah. He said, I said, you know how he got in the wheelchair, right? I said, he got his karma for being such a racist. He said, how? I said, he was jogging and a fucking oak tree fell on him. He's fucking paralyzed from the waist down. And I say it on my social media, he got what he deserved for being such a fucking racist. I hate Texas. I hate Mississippi. I hate Alabama. I would never go down to those states. And I know people who go down to Mississippi and stuff. They said, Mike, it hasn't changed much down there.
I've heard, yeah.
Even Natasha was telling me a story. She said, I'll tell you a story about my aunt. She said, I went down to Alabama with my aunt. I said, okay. So I thought she was going to tell me something about her aunt, you know, who's older than her, much
Right,
older,
right, right.
and something happened. So she says, we're going into a gas station in Alabama to get gas. And she says, we hear people from the street beeping and beeping at us. We don't know why they were beeping at us.
Right.
So we go into the gas station and try to get gas. And I forgot if she said a white woman or a white guy came out and said, sorry, we don't serve people like you in here. Get out of here as fast as you can.
Craziness.
Okay, I said to Natasha, how long ago was that about? She said, Mike, about 15 years ago. I said, 15 years ago? Holy shit, that's in this century.
Yeah. Still
So
happens.
it doesn't change. It hasn't changed. It just has evolved into a different way. Motherfuckers. Well, I'll tell you one thing good about my museum. Rhonda, you know, they make money from, not by the people that come in to see the museum at the $18 charge. They make money, they have events. We have city and state come in there, you know, like the mayor and stuff comes in there sometimes. We have, people get married there. And Ron DeSantis wanted to come there and talk.
Mhm.
And it was in the papers. And my CEO of my museum said, there's no way in the world we're having him here. I don't care how much money he pays us. I'm not having him come here and spew his hate. Because a guy that was working upstairs with the CEO was handing in his pink slip. He said, you got DeSantis coming. I can't work here no more. So the guy says, the CEO says to him, he says, well, I got a transgender son. And I don't go along with what Ron DeSantis is saying. So I'm handing in. And the CEO said to him, no. Ron DeSantis is not getting here. You don't have to leave here. Don't worry. And he said to him, thank you. I got that from the inside. And that was in the papers, not that part of it about the transgender son, but the part of us by not allowing DeSantis to come and speak at out there. He's what we got to really watch out for. Trump might get indicted on Tuesday, and the NYPD
Yeah.
on high alert because they're thinking they're going to have riots and shit. Oh, one thing I want to bring. I want to bring. I want to also bring this point to you guys because I know you'll agree with me because I can't say this to white people because they always think they they always think I'm taking the side of the black man. Listen to this. They all want to try to forget January 6th. Am I correct?
They want
They
to
want
try.
to make it look. Yeah, they're trying to wash it down to make it look like it was a tourist attraction. I don't know how much you watch the news. They're trying to play January 6th down. You know, and I know. We both know. Okay, we know what happened to the cops there. We know about the guy who got his head caught in the door. We know about one guy that committed suicide, who died the next day from a stroke or a heart attack. We all know the damage, what they did. They wanted to get after Pelosi. They wanted to do everything. They got in there.
They wanted to kill all those people.
They did.
They wanted to kill,
They
right?
They wanted to kill
Okay.
those people.
They're out
Now
for
let me
blood.
ask you something. They got in and everything. They got in and everything, right?
Exactly.
They were like, we're so close, they want to hang Mike Pence. The only thing I'm sorry that they didn't do, I'm sorry that they didn't hang Mike Pence. Because he's an evangelical Christian. He's against LGBTQ. His wife's a teacher. She refuses to teach any LGBTQ kids, or if they even have parents and the kids are straight, but the parents are LGBTQ, she refuses to teach them, and they believe in conversion therapy. That's another subject. But anyway, so they all get in, right? You tell me this answer. No, we're done. We're done. You tell me this answer. If they were BLM, how many would have got in? They wouldn't have made it to the fucking front step. They
Hell
would have
no.
all been shot. Am I right or am I wrong?
Hell
We
yeah.
already
Okay.
knew. We already knew.
Okay.
That's why we was all looking at it and like, damn, they really made it up.
I'm just
At a
like,
certain point, I was kind of cheering. I'm like, yo, let's see how far you can go, bro.
I kinda
Like,
want to see.
I was like, yo, y'all inside?
I was
You
like-
in her office?
At that point, it's like, bro, we already know. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way I could have did that at
Yeah.
all.
There was
You
this
wouldn't have
one
made
bla-
it to the
Hell
first. You
no.
wouldn't have made it to the first step.
There
Oh,
was
that's
one
shit.
black guy there. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if you
did
saw
see
it.
that.
There was one black guy. He had a book bag on there.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
said he
yeah.
was just there for a stimulus check. I was like, yo, you need to get the fuck out of there, bro.
Listen. Sometimes you got people in your own community that are self-loathing.
Oh, yeah,
There are
that is true, too.
self-loathing black guys. There's self-loathing
Oh,
gay
yeah.
people out there.
For
You
sure.
know, I can't understand when I see a person, a black person, a woman, a gay person that's down with Trump. It doesn't make sense to me.
It kinda
That
doesn't.
down with Trump. It's sort of like an oxymoron to me.
Pretty
How
much.
could you be down with Trump?
They were money, obviously, because I seen that when I used to work by the World Trade Center. There was
Yeah.
a Hispanic dude out there, you know, just there with and literally he was homeless, but the sign said literally, you know, I support Trump. You know, he's helping me out and shit. I'm like, somebody.
Mentally disturbed, yeah.
I don't think he was mentioned. I think somebody literally just came, paid him just to have that sign there and just to
Right,
look
right.
up. I'm like,
And you
yo.
notice when Trump had his rallies, he had the black people in front. Blacks
but
for
yeah.
Trump, blacks for
Yeah,
Trump.
the two
Yeah.
the two sisters and shit.
And I had I had a black friend who was in the military. Okay, he wasn't a close friend of mine. He was a straight guy, very religious. Because one of his friends, that's how I got introduced. One of his friends I used to fool around with. He didn't know, he was a Spanish guy, and he said to me, Mike, you know, he's very religious. So I said, and so I'm not telling him anything that we're doing, and I'm not telling him I'm gay. So I don't know what he thought. So he's a Protestant. And I called him on the phone one time because I haven't heard from him in a long time. And he used to call me up and ask me things about women. You know, ask me advice. This girl's driving me crazy, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, maybe he doesn't know me, gay, whatever. But I didn't tell him anything about me.
Right.
And he turned around to me and it got into a political discussion. He
Always
was voting for Trump and told me that Obama was the worst president that we ever had. And I said, are you fucking kidding me? How could you say that being a black man, bro? How could you fucking say that?
Just them getting
How
in
could you
was
fucking say
enough.
that? I went berserk. A good-looking guy, buffed, religious guy, very intelligent, very like in the military, like pro-American, but yet telling me that Obama was the worst president. And you know what I saw mostly on television, on the internet? I wish I had a quarter for every time I saw it. You know what they were saying about Michelle Obama?
Oh, monkey girl.
No, that wasn't really a woman. That was a transgender.
Oh, I actually was.
I'm not
saying
Did you
surprised.
see that? Did you see that?
It's a conspiracy saying that she's actually a transgender because they can't find any
Yeah,
pregnancy.
yeah. She did.
Exactly.
She did say
Isn't that
that, yeah.
ridiculous? I got put in Facebook jail for arguing with some person.
Yeah,
Yep.
well.
Mhm.
Oh,
When I heard that.
society funny as hell, bro.
And I told you, I saw Obama in the news on
Mhm.
Facebook, and I saw that they wished his daughters get AIDS.
That's crazy.
Okay? How do you like
They
that?
cut a straight bullet for no
Meanwhile, and I never wanted to see Trump get a bullet to his head.
Why would take a-
Because I knew if he got killed, that Pence would be president.
Oh, yeah,
And
for
that's
sure.
what I didn't want to see.
Can I take a photo of your book real quick?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, sure. Thank you.
I'm gonna definitely post it on my social
I
media.
hope this is the bomb.
This was amazing.
And I'll be happy to come back anytime you want me to.
always.
Even to speak to Mr. Wolf, because I know they know he's down with having a conversation, right, Mr. Wolf?
Of course, man. Always
No.
down for great
Nah, Wolf, I may have you on one of these days.
What'd you think?
Oh,
What'd you
let me
think
know.
of what
For
I said?
sure.
Was it like too crazy or what about you
No,
think?